Tucson, Arizona. We are actually business partners with Young Living, and the way we decided to do this is we were talking about Young Living. We were actually talking about something else completely unrelated to organizing. And I mentioned to Shanley that I am just completely overwhelmed with I think it's my emotions, but I said, but my home. I said, well, I'm here, and I'm so grateful that I can work from home. One, I'm so grateful to have this Young Living business so I can do that. And now we're teaching Reiki online. I said, but Shanley, I told her, if you could look behind this computer screen and see what I'm looking at from my chair. And I said, and it just makes me want to cry. And I said, this is the perfect time for everybody to be working at home and, like cleaning out things and doing projects. I said, but I'm just so emotionally overwhelmed and just so completely overwhelmed that I don't even know where to start. So she started giving me some tips. And I said, wait. I said, this is too good. We got to share this with other people. So one, I would like Shanley to introduce her background. I know her in a business perspective with Young Living. We've been together in Young Living for what, 3-4 years, Shanley?
Yeah.
But she's kind of a big deal as a professional organizer. So can you give us some of your background? Tell us how you got into organizing. And here, I've got my motivation oil too. Ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine is joy.
Yeah. I've got some joy going too.
I also have some surrender, because this is just going to go how it goes.
Good.
So I am a professional organizer. I'm a member of NAPO, which is the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. It's a international organization of almost 4,000 members. I'm also a certified personal stylist, because I think that what you wear makes a difference in your day. It's all about enclothed cognition and how the clothes have a symbolic meaning, and they impact you when you wear them. And so because of that, I'm a certified personal stylist, but I'm also a Konmari consultant in training. So I was recently, last year, I went to do some training with Marie Kondo in LA. And so that, I think, is part of what was helping Karen, or what I was sort of helping Karen with, to understand about her personal home and how you can make it healthy and a sanctuary for you, using some of the techniques I learned at training with Marie Kondo.
Yeah, actually, because you invited me to that webinar where they were talking about, it was Dr. Andrew Weil from University of Arizona at Tucson. And I think that's where I got the title, because they were talking about how part of what's wrong with us is we have no control over the virus or our jobs or the economy, but we do have control over our homes, and that our homes should be a sanctuary. And I was like, mine's not, and I don't even know how to get there.
Right. Yeah. And so my response to that was, well, just do you. I mean, the idea here is that it's okay. Whatever you're doing is okay. And just because somebody else is Marie Kondoing their entire home right now does not mean that's what you should be doing. I've got an Instagram series kind of that I'm doing right now, which is sort of a one thing a day. And I'll just pick one thing. Yesterday it was my blankets, the throw blankets you have all over your house. And when's the last time you washed those things? And so pick up all your blankets, take them to the washing machine, throw them in, and then you feel accomplished. And so you can follow me on Instagram if you want to find out what the next thing is.
What is your Instagram?
It's Shanley Ten Eyck. So everything is Shanley Ten Eyck across the board, webpage, Instagram, all those things. And it's scrolling across the bottom should you need it. But the idea is it's just okay to be you. There's no right way to do this. This is literally the first time in our human history, as long as anybody who's been alive right now has gone through something like this. I mean, 1918 was when the influenza or the Spanish flu happened, and that people who are alive right now are not actively going through it. They're probably in a nursing home if they're still alive, right? Not to say they're not going through it, but this is new for all of us. And the way that you're behaving it is the way that you should behave. And the way that you're handling it is the right way for you. And so if you can do 10 things a day, great, do 10 things. But I'm personally, I'm a manifester. And so my energy, it comes in waves like that. And so it's something where if today I feel like sitting and watching Outlander for 8 hours, that's what I'm going to do because Jamie is hot, right? Or reading it, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever you feel like doing today. But, you know, maybe tomorrow is the day you feel like getting up and condoing your entire closet or your kitchen or whatever, you know, phase of the series you're in. And so you should just be comfortable being you and make sure that you do it with peace and grace and allow yourself the opportunity to have emotions and be scared and be happy and be grateful that you have a home office that you can work in, or a desk or a table or whatever. Marie Kondo was recently interviewed in People magazine, and she had some tips about working from home. And one of them was to try and leave your bedroom if you can. And I understand some people have a studio apartment and that's not possible, but if you even have a table that's not your bed, get up and walk over to the table and make a separate space. Make it be sort of the start of something new. The enclothed cognition comes back with put on some business clothes. I totally get pajamas are awesome. I love my yoga clothes. All of that's great. But Karen, that little scarf you've got on makes your face pop. It looks fantastic against your backdrop. Your hair, it looks wonderful. You've got earrings on. You know, all of those things help you feel professional and help you do your job better. So I think that was kind of what I was telling Karen the last time we talked.
Because I was just overwhelmed with everything. Well, we shifted that Reiki, which I normally teach in person, we shifted that online. So, and everybody's been having to scramble and do Zoom meetings. And now that's another thing. So I've just got this backdrop hanging here, but I've been in so many Zoom meetings and I see people, okay, maybe it's lucky I live by myself. Now that's partly what's driving me insane is that I can't touch anybody except my cats. And I'm an extrovert and touch is my first love language. And that is really, really difficult. I've been out hugging trees and walking in the grass, you know, but it's just not the same. So I think
that's what makes you happy. And so it's important that you know that. And it's important that you get your cat and that you get that tree and you give it a hug. And it's also important to acknowledge that you understand that living alone has its sacrifices, but it also has its benefits. You can put up whatever backdrop you want and not have it impact other people. My husband is sequestered in his office right now because I said, I'm going live. You need to be quiet. Not everybody has to deal with that.
So I was wondering if, well, actually what you said about having a separate space, what if you're trying to homeschool your children? This, I don't even know how. I've had a couple of people contact me and say like, I can't do anything, you know, with the Young Living business right now because I'm supposed to be homeschooling my kids. They're swinging from the chandeliers. People are not used to being home that much and they're making messes, you know, and that's creating extra stress.
So establishing routines is a good way to help with that. And of course, I mean, I understand kids are kids. There's no way to control them. One of the things that Marie said in her recent interview was to set up a timeline, a schedule for your day. And if you can, close the door to the room that you're in. And if you can't, at least let them know that you're working. Maybe you have a little stop sign or something that you print out and you put on your desk and it says, stop, I'm working, or something like that. And to share your schedule, but to also understand that things happen. I mean, meltdowns happen and it's gonna happen. And you need to just have, again, that peace and grace to understand that, okay, you're not getting that done right now. And that's okay.
That was the biggest help because I just felt, especially since I'm trapped at home and I thought I really need to be doing this and doing that and doing this and I should be cleaning this out. And honestly, okay, to make this little corner, I pulled I just have baskets and baskets of crap, Shanley, just crap. And I think, well, I should start with one basket.
Yes. And pick a basket and deal with that basket. And if that's the one thing you get done today, Karen, then that's the one thing. If you feel motivated after you get done with that basket to go on to another basket, then go on to the next basket. But if that's it for the day, pat yourself on the back and say, good job, I got that thing done. And if you know what, if the one thing that you do today is get up out of bed to go to the bathroom and then you crawl right back into bed, that's okay too.
Wow. That relieves a lot of stress for me, because I guess I'm a really driven person.
And you can be driven when you're ready to be driven. It doesn't have to be today, right now, because somebody else has that expectation of you, or because Instagram says you should, or because Facebook says you should. This is not time to keep up with the Joneses. This is time to keep up with you.
So in that sense, then this really could be an advantage, I suppose. And maybe that's why so many people are going crazy.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm just talking about myself.
That's okay.
My modus operandi is just to work really hard. I'm a workaholic, so that way I don't have to sit with myself and think about choices and, all the failures I've had in my life, and all those things that you think, and then, looking around at all the stuff that you should do. So maybe in some ways, do you see that?
How about instead of shoulding on yourself, you could on yourself?
Oh, I love that. And you have it on a Post-it note.
I have it sitting right here on my desk all the time. So if I think the word should, I instead think the word I could. I could do that, or I could not do that.
Oh my gosh.
I could do something else. I'm making a conscious choice to do that or not to do that, but only because it's a choice I'm making, not because something that society is putting on me and the expectation of me that I should do it. Choose yourself.
Yeah, that's really huge. I could do this, or I could not.
Exactly right. And because you have a choice.
And I think especially now at this time, because I am a control freak. And I think that's partly what's driving me so crazy with the overwhelm, is that I don't have control over this virus. I don't have control over who's going to die, and I don't have control over the economy and people who don't have jobs. I have no control over that. And so that drives me crazy.
Absolutely.
But if
You're not the only one. You're not the only one feeling that either. So understand. And if it helps you to find a Facebook group where you can express that, or a circle of friends that you can have a virtual happy hour with, it's important to do those things. And even if it takes a little bit of technological wizardry to figure out how to get on a Zoom meeting with 8 other people or 2 other people, it doesn't matter. Work it out. Everybody's patient. Everybody's learning. And so have some peace and grace with yourself and with others in these moments, so that you understand that you're doing what's best for you.
That's good. So what I could do. Yeah. And it takes me out of that sense of like, I should be doing this. I should. And that I have control. I get to choose. That's what, I think that's what you helped me understand, is like, it's okay. It's a choice. You get to choose what you do. And it's also terrifying, because that means, you can't blame anybody else for anything. It's like, well, I could do that, or I could not.
That's right. Yeah. That sense of ownership and that sense of getting to know yourself. You were talking about the feelings of past failures. Well, Karen, those are the things that make you you, and you're wonderful the way that you are. And nobody else does Karen Caig better than you. So keep doing that. And you would not be here without those choices that you made in the past. So, grab yourself some lavender lotion, put it on.
I've got this Valor here. I do it every morning, but I've been like Valoring like 4 times a day.
Yeah. And Valor is so not my thing. Like, I'm really not a fan of Valor. And like, the new deodorant just came out, and I was like, pass. But for me, it's like Ula Field. I love that. I wear it on a little necklace, and I roll it on all the time. For me, also Joy. I mentioned that already. But the way that I got into Young Living is because I had a pup who passed. And I just happened to meet you and Nora at the same time, right around that time. And Joy was the thing that struck with me. And that's one of the things that Marie uses as well, as diffusing. You could see, if I turned my camera, you'd see my diffuser going right there. And
Yeah.
she's also all about, we can talk about sanctuary later, but she does the crystals and she does her tuning fork. And so she starts her day, and this is the way that she says, this is what's happening. And she does the tuning fork all over her body. And it's a way to signify a beginning. And so find a thing that's important to you. And if it's not valor, but it is lavender, then pick that up and use it. And if you need something like relaxation, use that. I find right now that because I'm sitting here and my arms are up on my laptop, that my muscles are really sore on my neck. And so I've been using a lot of ortho-ease. And plus I've recently started picking up running, and my thighs are a little sore right now. So rubbing that ortho-ease on my thighs helps. But those are things that are important to me and that make me feel better. And so instead of using valor because you and everybody else loves it, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick the smells that make me feel better. That, remember back to Molly Shannon with that. That's what makes me happy. You do you, and I'm going to do me.
So this has been great. So the takeaway is really that as far as like organizing, you've got to start with organizing your own emotions, your own mind. I mean, yes. and I guess just like starting with your house, you got to clear it. So I have to clear my mind first, and then.
And so just a quick rundown of the Marie Kondo process is it's a 5-stage process. And first is clothes, and then books, paper, kimono, and then, oh God, it's gone.
It's because we're live.
It's because we're live. Oh my gosh. Look, I'm just going to pull my little book here real quick. This would never happen in real life.
No, it's because we're live and people are watching.
Kimono, paper, kimono, sentimental. Oh gosh, that's why. Because I'm avoiding that, right? Sentimental. And so kimono, the 4th step, is everything that's not clothing, paper, books, paper, or sentimental. And so that's like your kitchen, your garage, your linens, your, anything else that's not one of those things. And the reason that you start and go in that order is because typically clothes are the easiest thing for you to go through. You're less sentimentally attached to them. And so if you want to start with feeling successful, you could start in your closet. You could pick a drawer, just pick one drawer, pick a shelf, pick just your shirts, pick just your socks, whatever, it doesn't matter. Pick one section, go through all of them. The idea is that you're supposed to take everything and put it all on your bed at the same time. And the idea is the sense of shock and overwhelm is supposed to spur you to action. And that way you're supposed to be like, wow, I really have a lot of clothes. And so you're supposed to remember to take them from everywhere, from your hall closet, from your car, from your, all your guest bedroom closets, from any place, from your gym bag, underneath your bed. There's a lot of my clients have things underneath their beds. So gather everything, empty all of your drawers and put it on your bed. And the idea behind putting it on your bed is you should really have a place to sleep that night, right? And so that's supposed to motivate you to get it done in one fell swoop. But sometimes that's just too much for people. And so what I recommend, if you want to try it, is just pick one category before, one section of clothing before the next meeting next Wednesday, and see if you can work through it. And if you can, then try and move on to the next section of clothing. And then if you get all the way through your clothes, go on to books. And so I just want to point out that Marie does not say you have to have only 30 books. That's a common misunderstanding. You should keep things that make you happy and that spark joy. And the idea is that you're supposed to touch them and you're supposed to think about them. And the easiest way to do this is to go to your closet and pick out your favorite shirt or hat or pair of socks or whatever and hold on to that and remember the feeling that that gives you, and remember the compliments that you get when you wear it. I wear royal blue a lot because it looks great with my skin, with my hair, and I get a lot of compliments when I wear it. So it makes me feel really good when I wear it. And so for that reason, I have lots of blue in my closet and a lot less light pink, because that's not a good color for me. So when I go through my clothes, I go through them with the idea of making me feel happy. And if it doesn't make you feel happy, then you're going to consider why you're keeping it. I'm not here to force you to get rid of things. I'm here to help you think about why you're keeping it. And you should be keeping things that make you happy, that spark joy, like she says, and keep it with confidence. So if you're not going to keep it with confidence, if it's going to be a maybe or a someday, or I might be keeping this just because I can't make a decision about it, then set that aside and put it in the maybe pile. You'll find that working through all of your clothes and all of the processes, you're going to strengthen your choice muscle, your picking muscle. And that's the point of going through the order in that, or the items in that order, is because you strengthen your picking muscle. So by the time you get to number 5, the sentimental stuff, it's a lot easier.
Okay.
So be optimistic and try and do one thing before we meet again next Wednesday at the same time and same place, same bat channel, same bat time. Go through
my socks and underwear.
Go through those. And here's the other thing: this is sort of like the X test, is what I've heard a lot. Is if you happen to run into your ex and they saw you wearing that, would you be happy about that? Okay. If you, heaven forbid, had to go to the hospital in an ambulance and they had to cut off your clothes and they saw your underwear and your socks and your bra or whatever you have underneath, are you going to be okay with that? And if not, then maybe consider saying goodbye. Pass them along to somebody else. There are still plenty of places that are accepting donations right now. I know the Salvation Army is in Tucson. There's another wonderful organization called the Free Store here in Tucson, and it's for people who are homeless veterans and domestic abuse victims that literally have nothing. They leave with nothing. And so they have a store where people can go and shop for free for things that they need. And I know that they're still picking up items. So they'll come to you. So you and I can do a virtual session. We'll go through all your stuff. You'll set it aside on the curb. Then they'll come pick it up and they'll take it away to people who need it. So that's sort of my takeaway for you for the next week, is see what you can go through. You could do it. You don't have to, but you could.
Shanley, thank you so much. This was so helpful. I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you. And I can't wait.
You.
Thanks. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.